on my way back from Hillsboro, I came across this turnoff and thought I'd finally take it to see what's what. It's pretty okay. It's below the Caballo, and I just checked it. It's Bureau land, so I'm good. And I see trees, so that makes me happy. I want to see what's down here by the river, if I can get close. So this is why I have been spending so much time inside the van. It's the windy season. But isn't this a beautiful spot? Oop, not in the shade anymore. I should move forward a little bit. It is gorgeous here. Oh, my hat's still on. So it is gorgeous here. It's very windy. Wind is supposed to die down tomorrow. But tomorrow's Tuesday, so I have a 6 o'clock in the evening. Which might give me enough time, but I don't think it gives me enough time to come back to this spot. I hate that. I know. But I want to get all of these appointments in before I leave. They're very important. Because everything I'm doing is preparing me for my road trip. You know, being out away from familiar peeps and keeping myself together in the head during that time. Actually, I think I have a better view out my window than I did before. Look at that. What? Yep, that's my view. Right at my van window. I've been asked many times, you know, like, what do you do to entertain yourself when you're stuck in the van on days like this? And I'm not in a place to paint yet because I've been moving around for a bunch of days. So I'm really jumpy and it's not a good place to be. When I'm trying to paint, nothing comes out, and so I get very frustrated. And it's a process that I like painting to be joyful. But wow, look at the wind on the water right now. Blowing so hard that it looks like it's blowing the river in the opposite direction. Like it's blowing the water upstream. That's how strong that is right now. Isn't that wild? So where I am is actually on Caballo Lake, which is south on the river from Elephant Butte Dam. So there are times of the year when this is quite low, which is why you see that tree island, right? And the river kind of has a split here when it gets low. And then, because you can even see like old remnant campsites from when the water's down. But this is open for the season, so the water level is at a good height. And it's just so beautiful. And I've been watching it today and I just don't feel right now that I can paint. I want to study it. This is the first time I've been able to be this close, and I really want to study it tomorrow morning the wind should be less aggressive. So maybe sunrise is on the other side of these mountains. So, or like that way. But these guys are usually in shadow for most of the morning. But then they have cool, depending on the light of the day, yada, yada, yada. But I'm waiting for the evening light, and I know it's not going to really get, the wind's not going to calm down, but I bet I can get some really great images of the light on these mountains as the sun goes down. Just sitting here waking up this morning, and I look out to see, who is this? Is that a little, it's a great blue. Look at that. Right out my window. Yeah. So this is my morning view. I am accompanied by a couple of fishermen on the shore. That's why I sound like the announcer for a golf tournament right now. There you go. A 30 and 60 pound snapper turtle. Just lay all day just to get enough for you to eat for a meal. They taste a lot like walleye. It is a beautiful morning. So this is what I'm going to be working on today because it's what I have in the van. I know, pretty awesome. It's the block that I pulled and I wasn't thinking. I just grabbed a watercolor block out of the studio and it's the 300 pounder. So here I am across the river, the Rio Grande from the Caballo mountain range. This is the closest I've been yet, and I love seeing this morning light on the foothills, the alluvial fan, if you will, because this whole area from Turtleback Mountain to here is an alluvial fan. I've expounded on it before, so I won't do that again to you guys. But it's a geological formation, so if you're interested, just Google it. You'll find all sorts of information. It's pretty cool rabbit hole to fall down. At least it is for me. I enjoy it. So I'm just waiting for the sun to get a tiny bit higher before I do the range, because there's some pinks that I want to pick up that I know exist, but I want to wait for them. But I love the way the light is coming through the trees. So here, let me show you. All these wonderful spring greens. Just this pass and this pass. Whoops. Yeah. And I'm going to kind of do my own thing in the sky. But really what I don't want to miss out on is all these beautiful greens. So what I'm doing right now is looking at the camera, at the screen, to compose this painting. So I split the paper in two. I'm just doing a abstract wispy sky because that's kind of what we got going on here. Right? And I'm gonna, I think, start with this wide view and eventually also end up on a closer view of that grove of trees on the left. I'm gonna zoom in for you. That grove of trees right there. That's what I want to try to focus on. Just give you a little taste of what's going on today. We got this going on. And it's a busy spot. We've got fishermen, a kayaker, me, and it was people in and out fishing yesterday. So, yeah, but still beautiful. Everybody's respecting everybody. Well, I came in here to a friend of mine's yard last night to park because it was kind of late. And as I was putting the screens on the windows, this is what I found. Yep, I have a tire that is going flat, and it is a rear driving tire. Now, granted, these tires have some life on them. They've been around the block. But, you know, replacing them right now it would be a lot. It's 4 tires. I think it's $150 a tire. Ish. You know, he just gave me a ballpark. So we'll have to see what happens. If they can repair the tire repair would be $15. Cross your fingers. If the tire cannot be repaired, however, then I have to find other means because that's money I don't have at this moment. However, I do have a show hanging up at Elephant Butte with all available paintings. Plus, there's my Instagram. So if you're interested in helping me buy some tires for this next loop that I'm doing, that would be awesome. On my Instagram are all my available paintings for sale. Although I have a show up in Elephant Butte and artwork in South Carolina for another show, all of those pieces are still available and I have access to them. So if you purchase them offline, I can just go get them, wrap them up for shipping, and send them to you. Well, obviously not the ones in South Carolina, but the people who have those pieces are willing to ship them anywhere they need to go. For my next loop, I am going north on 25. I'm going to be stopping and visiting a new friend first I'll be stopping and visiting a friend from middle school in Albuquerque. And from there, I will be, I think, stopping somewhere in the Taos area to camp, as I haven't really explored that area very much. And then I will head north to Denver, as I have friends and family that I would like to visit in the Denver Boulder area. And then it's on to new spanking territory. I'm going up to through northern Colorado into Wyoming and exploring a little bit of Wyoming and then heading into Montana. And there in Montana, I hope to meet up with another friend I met in Moab. I met a lot of people in Moab. And she's a fellow landscape painter. I always think of her as like kamikaze landscape painter because she's crazy. She's crazy. She goes to the most extreme locations and drags her supplies everywhere she goes. I don't know how she does it, honestly. But yeah, she's like my hero. And then from there, I will be heading across Montana through Idaho into the Pacific Northwest. I have a friend, hopefully, who's going to be joining me for the majority of that journey. I'm not saying anything until I know for sure. But I met them through TikTok and met up with them in Quartzsite. So, any luck, I hope we get to make this work. And then, yeah, and then I'll be looping back here for December. So on the loop back here, it's because I'll be investigating like Washington, Oregon, and then coming down into Northern California. I was just given a route that goes across the top of Northern California that's really beautiful that I was told would be something I would enjoy painting along the way. So that's a possibility. I have my a cousin that I'm hoping to meet up with in Northern California. And then from there, heading south, I would like to go to, I think it's called Ponda or something like that. Oh gosh, I have to look it up. But it's the largest living organism on the planet. It's, I think, so, or root structure. Anyway, it's an aspen that is 80,000 to 100,000 years old. I know. So cool. And if I hit it right, I should be there in the fall, which means I get to see all the gorgeous color. I'm That's the goal. I'd like to achieve it. I will need tires. Not may. I will. I will need tires. This is my heads up. So when the universe gives you a heads up, pay attention. This is my heads up. So I'm going to go get that repaired today, hopefully, and I will turn this back on and let you know how things go. So excited. Got the tire fixed. Yay, simple plug. And I then got to the river and found this beautiful spot under the willow tree. I love this. I'm glad I took a walk down here last week with my friends. Kind of scope out a bunch of different possibilities, and when I saw this one was available, I decided not to go any further. It's got good shade. I want to thank you all for joining me today and for coming along for the ride. It's wonderful having you with me as I travel in the van. And I am on the road now. This video was a couple weeks ago. If you would like to support this journey and come along for the ride and get regular updates, please check out my Patreon below. It starts at $5 a month for membership. And then there's a PayPal link below that. So if you just want to be able to do a one-time contribution to help with possibly new tires or gas or whatever maintenance I need on the van to keep me moving forward to make this loop, that would be awesome too. Also, there's a link to my Instagram if you'd rather purchase a painting. I am painting all 50 states. So this is going to add 5 more states to my roster, I think. Yes, 5 more states to my roster, and I'm really excited about that. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Stay creative. It's just a lot easier to exist in this world when we can stay creative. Take care. Bye-bye.